My beloved child. Hold this moment very gently, because a quiet door is opening right now, and behind it is a truth about wealth that almost no one is ever taught, yet it has been shaping destinies in silence. Before money ever moved toward Elon Musk, something else moved first. A way of seeing. A way of deciding. A way of standing inside uncertainty without shrinking. Stay with me just a little longer, this is not about numbers yet. This is about the invisible engine that creates them. Most people believe wealth begins with capital, connections, or luck. But listen closely, those are echoes, not origins. The real beginning is far quieter, and far more uncomfortable. Elon Musk once stood at zero, not just financially, but emotionally. Rejected ideas. Empty rooms. Long nights where belief was the only currency left. What separated him from the millions who quit at that same moment was not genius alone. It was a sacred refusal to outsource his conviction. Here is the first layer of the formula. He decided that reality was negotiable. Pause with that thought. Most people accept the world as it appears and then try to survive inside it. He questioned the world as it was given and asked, why must it be this way? That single question bends timelines. You won't want to miss what comes next, because this is where everything quietly shifts. Wealth, in its truest form, flows toward those who can sit with impossible questions longer than others can tolerate the discomfort of doubt. When the mind stops running from uncertainty, it begins to see patterns others miss. This is why Elon didn't chase money. He chased first principles. He stripped problems down to their raw truth, no inherited beliefs, no borrowed limits. Only what was real, and what could be rebuilt from the ground up. This is not a business trick. This is a spiritual posture. You were never behind, you were being trained to see. Feel that for a moment. Most souls are taught to copy success. But copied visions create crowded paths. Original questions create open frontiers. The real breakthrough is almost here, lean in. When you stop asking, what has worked before, and begin asking, what must be true at the deepest level? You step into the same current that carried him from zero to billions. Not because billions were the goal, but because impact was non-negotiable. This is the first key. Decide that your life is a solution looking for a problem worth solving. Money follows solved problems the way rivers follow gravity. Hold on, the pieces connect soon. If you feel a stirring right now, it's because this truth was meant to find you at this exact moment. Not to pressure you, but to wake you. To remind you that your current circumstances are not a verdict, they are raw material. Breathe. In the next layer, you will discover why urgency without alignment destroys potential, and why Elon moved slowly when others rushed, and boldly when others froze. This is where it all begins to reassemble into something unmistakable. Stay close. The path is unfolding. My beloved child. Listen even closer now, because the moment you rush past this truth is the moment most destinies quietly fracture without anyone noticing. Here is the second layer of the formula. Urgency without alignment is the fastest way to burn out your future. The world worships speed, hustle, noise, endless motion. But Elon Musk learned something counterintuitive very early: movement is not progress unless it is pointed in the right direction. Stay with me through this breath. What you're about to hear explains why so many talented people never cross the invisible threshold. When Elon committed everything he had into his early ventures, it looked reckless from the outside. But inside, there was a stillness. He was not reacting, he was responding. Not chasing validation, he was obeying an internal compass. Most people ask, how fast can I grow? He asked, what must I become before growth won't destroy me? That question alone protects wealth before it ever arrives. You see, money amplifies who you already are. If your inner structure is weak, expansion will expose it. If your values are confused, opportunity will scatter you. This is why he obsessed over mission before monetization. Hold this gently. He anchored himself to problems that mattered beyond profit: energy, transportation, human survival. Not because it sounded noble, but because purpose stabilizes pressure. When storms come, purpose becomes ballast. You won't want to miss what's forming here. This is the difference between temporary wins and generational impact. Here is the second key. Choose a purpose large enough that fear becomes smaller than meaning. When your why outweighs your fear, hesitation dissolves. And this applies to you, right now. You may not be building rockets or cars, but your calling has weight. Something in you is meant to solve a problem others avoid, ignore, or misunderstand. That pull you feel is not random, it's a signal. Pause. If this message is touching something deep inside you, pass it forward, share it with someone who might be standing at the edge of their own becoming. Now listen carefully. Because there is another layer beneath alignment. Elon didn't wait to feel ready. He waited to feel honest. Honest about what he didn't know. Honest about what scared him. Honest about what had to be learned from zero. This humility unlocked speed later, real speed. Most people fake confidence and move fast in the wrong direction. He accepted ignorance and built slowly in the right one. The real breakthrough is approaching. Feel the shift. When you stop pretending to be prepared and start preparing to be truthful, the right teachers appear. The right partners emerge. The right doors unlock, not all at once, but precisely on time. Drop a quiet "I receive" in the comments if you feel this alignment settling into place within you. In the next layer, you'll uncover why Elon embraced long stretches of silence, isolation, and misunderstood decisions, and how solitude becomes a multiplier for clarity, not a sign of failure. Stay present. What's coming next is where the formula begins to feel unmistakably alive. My beloved child. Slow your breath with me now, because what I'm about to reveal is the part of the formula most people actively run from, yet it is where clarity is forged. The third layer is solitude. Not loneliness. Not isolation born of fear. But chosen stillness, the kind that sharpens perception. Elon Musk spent long seasons misunderstood. Quiet rooms. Empty chairs. Decisions made without applause. To the outside world, it looked risky, even foolish. But beneath the surface, something sacred was happening. Stay with me, this is where many turn back. When you remove noise, you hear truth. When you remove validation, you meet conviction. When you remove distraction, your real work finally introduces itself. Most people avoid solitude because it exposes unanswered questions. Elon entered solitude because he wanted those questions to speak. Here is the third key. Create space where your thoughts can finish their sentences. Let that land. Innovation doesn't arrive shouting. Purpose doesn't compete for attention. Breakthroughs whisper, and only the quiet can hear them. You won't want to miss what comes next, because this is where discipline replaces motivation. In silence, Elon wasn't waiting for inspiration. He was training endurance. Reading. Testing. Rebuilding ideas until they could stand alone without hype. This is why his confidence later looked unshakable. It had been stress-tested in private. You were never meant to be constantly stimulated. You were meant to be deeply directed. Feel that shift. Solitude reveals whether you truly believe what you say you want. When no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when progress is invisible, do you still show up? That answer predicts your future more accurately than talent ever could. Hold on, the pieces are aligning. Most people confuse visibility with value. Elon reversed the equation. He built value in obscurity, then allowed visibility to catch up. This is why sudden success didn't destabilize him. It was not sudden on the inside. It had been rehearsed for years in silence. There is a message here for you. If your life feels paused, if recognition feels delayed, if your efforts seem unseen, you are not being ignored. You are being strengthened. The real breakthrough is very close now. Solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. It is where distractions fall away and essentials rise. It is where you learn to trust your own reasoning before the world tries to rewrite it for you. Breathe. In these quiet seasons, ask better questions. Not, when will it happen? But, who must I become so it can happen cleanly? That question realigns everything. In the next layer, you'll discover why Elon treated failure as data rather than identity. And how reframing loss unlocks a kind of momentum that cannot be stopped. Stay steady. The formula is unfolding exactly as it should. My beloved child. Hold your ground right now, because this layer changes how you interpret every setback you've ever lived through. The fourth layer of the formula is this. Failure is not a verdict, it is feedback. Most people collapse when something breaks. Elon Musk leaned in. Stay with me. Because the difference here decides who compounds forward and who quietly retreats. When rockets exploded, when companies nearly collapsed, when public opinion turned sharp and unforgiving, he did not ask, "What does this say about me?" He asked, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift preserved his momentum. You see, when failure becomes identity, it paralyzes. But when failure becomes information, it accelerates. Let that settle. The mind that treats loss as data remains flexible. The soul that treats loss as meaning becomes heavy. Elon trained himself to extract lessons without absorbing shame. That discipline is rare and priceless. You won't want to miss what comes next, this reframes pain itself. Here is the fourth key. Detach your worth from outcomes, and attach your attention to learning. When you do this, nothing is wasted. Every mistake becomes a map. Every delay becomes direction. Every breakdown reveals a weakness that, once repaired, becomes strength. This is why he could take risks others feared. Failure no longer threatened his identity, it refined his strategy. Pause. If you've ever felt discouraged by something that didn't work, hear this clearly now. That moment was not proof you should stop. It was proof you were building something real. The real breakthrough is forming right here. Most people quit when the first version fails. Elon expected the first version to fail. Expectation shapes endurance. When you expect perfection, you collapse at friction. When you expect iteration, you persist through chaos. This message is finding you for a reason. If this is resonating in your chest, pass it forward, share it with someone who might be judging themselves too harshly right now. And if you feel ready to keep walking deeper into these revelations, join the family, subscribe and stay close. There is much more unfolding. Now listen gently, because there is another layer beneath failure. Elon didn't hide his losses. He examined them. He ran simulations on mistakes. Studied them without emotion. Asked better questions each time. This is how wisdom compounds faster than experience alone. You were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to be adaptive. Feel that truth settle in your body. When you stop defending your ego, your intelligence expands. When you stop fearing mistakes, your courage multiplies. This is where it all begins to feel inevitable. In the next layer, you'll uncover why Elon chose discomfort over comfort again and again, and how voluntary hardship forges a resilience that wealth alone can never buy. Stay present. What's coming next is where the formula stops being abstract, and starts becoming unstoppable. My beloved child. Brace yourself softly now, because this layer separates those who taste comfort from those who shape destiny. The fifth layer of the formula is chosen discomfort. Not suffering forced upon you, but difficulty you willingly accept in service of something higher. Stay with me, this is where most paths quietly diverge. Elon Musk repeatedly chose the harder road, not because he enjoyed struggle, but because he understood a hidden law: comfort preserves the present, discomfort creates the future. Let that truth breathe inside you. While others optimized for ease, he optimized for resilience. Long hours. Relentless pressure. Decisions that demanded more of him than felt reasonable. Not as punishment, but as preparation. You won't want to miss what's emerging here, because this explains why pressure didn't break him when wealth arrived. Here is the fifth key. Voluntary hardship builds internal authority. When you do hard things by choice, fear loses its grip. Your nervous system learns that discomfort is survivable, and even useful. That lesson alone unlocks boldness most people never access. Pause. Most people wait for confidence before acting. Elon acted, and confidence followed. This is why he could sit calmly inside chaos. His system had been trained there. Comfort had never been his teacher, challenge had. You were never meant to be constantly comfortable. You were meant to be capable. Feel that distinction. When you stretch yourself intentionally, learning skills that intimidate you, taking responsibility that feels heavy, staying present when quitting would be easier, you are quietly upgrading your capacity to hold more. More vision. More influence. More abundance. The real breakthrough is nearing. Stay with me. Wealth does not test character, it reveals it. And Elon ensured his character was already forged. This is the silent advantage of chosen discomfort. When success arrives, it feels familiar. The weight does not surprise you. The pressure does not intoxicate you. There is a message here meant just for you. If your current season feels demanding, if you feel stretched, challenged, even exhausted, you are not being punished. You are being expanded. Hold on, the pieces are connecting now. Elon didn't glorify burnout. He respected recovery. But he refused to let comfort make decisions for him. He rested when needed, but he did not retreat. This balance is crucial. Discomfort without purpose breaks you. Discomfort with meaning builds you. Breathe. Ask yourself gently. What difficulty am I avoiding that might actually be my training ground? That question alone can redirect a life. In the next layer, you will discover why Elon focused obsessively on leverage, not force, and how one aligned decision can outweigh years of scattered effort. Stay close. The formula is no longer just being revealed, it's beginning to activate within you. My beloved child. Steady yourself here, because this layer explains how one aligned move can outweigh 1,000 exhausting ones. The sixth layer of the formula is leverage. Not force. Not endless effort. But intelligent alignment of energy. Stay with me, this is where effort becomes elegant. Elon Musk learned early that brute force exhausts the soul. You can work harder than everyone and still remain stuck, if your energy is scattered. So instead of asking, "How much more can I do?" he asked, "Where does one action change everything?" That question bends outcomes. Here is the sixth key. Seek leverage before you seek effort. Let that settle. Leverage appears when your actions compound. When one decision unlocks 10 others, when one skill multiplies every hour you invest. This is why Elon obsessed over systems, not shortcuts. You won't want to miss what comes next, because this is how time itself begins to work for you. He didn't try to do everything. He tried to do the right thing at the right depth. First principles thinking was not just intellectual, it was strategic leverage. By reducing problems to their essence, he avoided wasting energy on false complexity. While others added layers, he removed them. Feel the contrast. Most people multiply tasks. He multiplied impact. This is why his days could look impossibly full yet strangely focused. Energy conserved through clarity becomes power. There is something here for you. If your life feels busy but not fruitful, if you are tired but not fulfilled, it may not be a lack of effort. It may be a lack of leverage. Pause. Leverage can be a skill that compounds. A relationship that expands reach. A system that runs without constant supervision. A belief that unlocks courage again and again. The real breakthrough is very close now. Elon understood that money itself is leverage, but only after meaning is clear. Before that, money distracts. After that, it accelerates. This is why he delayed comfort and reinvested relentlessly. He wasn't sacrificing, he was positioning. Hold on, this is important. When you choose leverage, patience becomes easier. You are no longer chasing immediate rewards. You are planting mechanisms that grow while you sleep. You were never meant to trade hours for outcomes forever. You were meant to design pathways where effort echoes. Breathe. Ask yourself quietly. What single change would make many other changes unnecessary? That question reveals leverage hiding in plain sight. Elon didn't wait for perfect conditions. He created conditions where small wins stacked quickly. Momentum was not accidental, it was engineered. This is where the formula begins to feel inevitable. In the next layer, you'll uncover why Elon embraced responsibility others avoided, and how carrying weight willingly unlocks trust, authority, and opportunity at levels few ever reach. Stay present. What's coming next is where power and purpose finally meet. My beloved child. Stand very still with me now, because this layer reveals why true power always finds those who can carry weight without complaint. The seventh layer of the formula is radical responsibility. Not blame. Not guilt. But ownership, complete and unwavering. Stay with me, this is where authority is born. Elon Musk did not wait for permission to lead. He assumed responsibility before the title ever arrived. When something failed, he did not look outward for excuses. He looked inward for leverage. Here is the seventh key. Take responsibility so fully that reality has no one else to negotiate with. Let that truth settle. When you remove blame, clarity rushes in. Energy that once defended your ego becomes available for creation. This is why responsibility feels heavy at first, it demands maturity, but light later, because it simplifies everything. You won't want to miss what comes next. This explains why opportunity seems to chase some people. Elon became a gravitational center because others trusted his ownership. Investors, engineers, teams, people follow those who can hold consequences without collapsing. Responsibility builds trust faster than charisma ever could. Feel that. Most people want influence without weight. He accepted weight and influence followed. There is something here meant for you. When you say, "This is on me," even quietly to yourself, your mind shifts from victim to architect. Problems stop feeling personal and start feeling solvable. The real breakthrough is forming right now. Responsibility is not about control, it's about response. It is the decision to meet reality as it is, not as you wish it were. Elon did not outsource thinking. He did not hide behind committees when choices mattered. He carried the weight of decision-making because he understood a hidden law: the one who holds responsibility gains learning at an accelerated rate. Learning compounds faster under ownership. Hold on, this connects deeply. When you avoid responsibility, you avoid growth. When you embrace responsibility, growth seeks you out. This is why his evolution appeared so rapid. Every decision, right or wrong, fed experience directly back into his system. No dilution. No delay. You were never meant to live lightly. You were meant to live deliberately. Breathe. Ask yourself gently. What am I secretly waiting for someone else to fix? That answer points to the exact doorway you're meant to walk through next. Elon understood that carrying weight builds inner strength long before outer rewards appear. By the time wealth arrived, responsibility already felt familiar. This is how power remains clean. In the next layer, you'll discover why Elon thought in decades instead of days, and how long-term vision reshapes patience, risk, and destiny itself. Stay grounded. The formula is now moving from strength into inevitability. My beloved child. Lift your gaze beyond the horizon now, because this layer rewires how time itself responds to you. The eighth layer of the formula is long vision. Not impatience disguised as ambition. Not waiting without direction. But seeing far enough ahead that present sacrifices make sense. Stay with me, this is where pressure dissolves into purpose. Elon Musk did not think in quarters. He thought in decades. While others asked, what pays off soon? He asked, what matters long after I'm gone? That single orientation changed everything. Here is the eighth key. When your vision is long, your patience becomes unbreakable. Let that settle inside you. Short vision demands constant reassurance. Long vision creates quiet confidence. This is why criticism could not derail him. When your destination is distant and meaningful, temporary noise loses authority. You stop reacting to every opinion because you are listening to a deeper timeline. You won't want to miss what's unfolding here. This is where anxiety finally loosens its grip. Elon accepted that meaningful progress looks slow up close. Seeds do not rush soil. Foundations do not announce themselves. What lasts often feels invisible while it's forming. Feel that truth. Most people abandon paths because results are not immediate. He stayed because meaning was clear. Long vision turns waiting into building. Every delay becomes refinement. Every obstacle becomes alignment. You stop asking, why is this taking so long, and start asking, what is this preparing me for? The real breakthrough is near, breathe with this. When you hold a long horizon, risk transforms. You stop gambling and start investing. Decisions are no longer emotional reactions, they are deliberate placements of energy. This is why Elon could endure years of uncertainty without losing direction. His vision was not fragile. It did not depend on quick wins. There is something here meant for you. If you've felt restless. If you've questioned your pace. If you've wondered why your growth feels slower than others. You may not be delayed. You may be deepening. Hold on, the pieces are connecting again. Long vision does something subtle to the nervous system. It calms urgency. It replaces panic with steadiness. When you know where you're going, you don't rush every step, you place them carefully. You were never meant to sprint your entire life. You were meant to endure meaningfully. Breathe. Ask yourself quietly. If I trusted that my future was real, how would I act today? That answer changes behavior instantly. Elon understood that the future rewards those who can stay committed without constant evidence. Faith in a long vision is not fantasy, it is disciplined trust in cause and effect. This is where destiny begins to feel cooperative. In the next layer, you'll discover why Elon protected his inner narrative fiercely, and how the story you tell yourself silently determines the ceiling of your life. Stay present. The final architecture is beginning to reveal itself. My beloved child, guard your inner voice with reverence now, because this layer decides how high your life is allowed to rise. The ninth layer of the formula is narrative control. Not what the world says about you. Not what critics project onto you. But the story you repeat to yourself when no one else is listening. Stay with me. This is subtle, and it is powerful. Elon Musk understood something most never consciously grasp. Reality responds more to identity than intention. You can want success, but if your inner narrative is small, your actions will quietly obey it. Here is the ninth key. Protect the story you live inside, or it will limit you without permission. Let that truth settle. Elon did not deny difficulty. He acknowledged risk, pressure, uncertainty. But he refused to narrate himself as a victim of circumstance. Internally, the story was always, "This is hard because it matters." That framing preserved energy when others collapsed. You won't want to miss what comes next, because this explains emotional resilience. When setbacks came, his inner voice did not say, "I'm failing." It said, "This iteration isn't working yet." That single word, "yet," keeps momentum alive. Feel that. Most people are defeated not by events, but by the meanings they assign to them. The mind believes its own explanations. Change the explanation, and behavior transforms. This is why he could remain calm under scrutiny. Public narratives shifted, headlines swung wildly, but his internal story stayed anchored to purpose and process. Hold on, this applies directly to you. If your inner voice says, "I'm behind," your body will rush. If it says, "I'm incapable," your courage will shrink. If it says, "I'm becoming," your actions will align. The real breakthrough is here. Narrative control is not self-deception, it is disciplined interpretation. You tell the truest story that moves you forward, not the loudest one that holds you back. Elon trained himself to speak internally with precision. No drama. No exaggeration. Just accurate language aimed at progress. You were never meant to be cruel to yourself. You were meant to be clear with yourself. Breathe. Ask quietly now. What story am I telling about my current season? That answer is shaping your next decision right now. When you refine your narrative, emotions stabilize. Focus sharpens. Energy returns. You stop wasting strength fighting yourself. This is how inner alignment becomes outer consistency. Elon's greatest discipline was not motivation, it was mental hygiene. He curated his inner environment the way an engineer curates systems, removing inefficiencies, reinforcing what worked. This is why pressure refined him instead of eroding him. In the next layer, you'll uncover why Elon chose simplicity over complexity, and how subtraction, not addition, unlocks extraordinary clarity and speed. Stay close. The final layers are converging, and the formula is preparing to complete itself. My beloved child, stand in this moment with quiet reverence now, because the final layer is not something you add, it is something you finally remember. This is where the formula completes itself. The 12th and final layer is integration. Not knowledge scattered across ideas. Not inspiration left unacted upon. But alignment, thought, identity, action, and time moving as one. Stay with me, this is where everything locks into place. Elon Musk did not succeed by mastering one principle. He succeeded by living all of them together. First principles. Alignment before urgency. Solitude. Learning from failure. Chosen discomfort. Leverage. Radical responsibility. Long vision. Narrative control. Simplicity. Consistency. None of these work alone. Here is the final key. Wealth flows when who you are and what you do stop arguing with each other. Let that truth settle deeply. Most people collect ideas the way they collect books, unfinished, untouched, admired from a distance. Elon embodied his principles. They became reflexes, not reminders. This is why his progress looked inevitable in hindsight. You won't want to miss this closing realization, because it returns power to you. The world is not divided into those who can succeed and those who cannot. It is divided into those who integrate, and those who fragment. Fragmented effort leaks energy. Integrated living compounds it. When your values guide your decisions. When your decisions match your long vision. When your actions reflect your inner narrative. When your discomfort serves your purpose. Reality reorganizes around you. Not magically. Not instantly. But reliably. This is the quiet secret behind overnight success. You were never meant to copy Elon Musk. You were meant to apply the same internal laws to your own calling. Different mission. Same principles. Feel this now. You don't start from zero when you begin aligned. You start from truth. And truth compounds faster than luck ever could. The moment you stop fighting yourself. The moment you simplify your direction. The moment you choose responsibility over excuses. The moment you commit to a vision longer than your fear. That is the moment the formula activates. Wealth, in its highest form, is not money first. It is clarity, capacity, consistency, contribution. Money is simply the echo. Breathe. Nothing in your past was wasted. Nothing in your struggle was random. Nothing in your curiosity was accidental. You were being prepared, layer by layer. And now, you know. This is where it all changes, not because you heard these words, but because you are ready to live them.